You are listening to another privileged white male speaking about things he shouldn't be speaking about. This is Beyond Facts with Dave Phillips.
Welcome, minions. On today's show, we are going to visit tariffs, iron ore, coal, bauxite, and coke. If you are confused, just hang in there. I will explain everything. I also have information on a lady giving a 2-year-old some popcorn and a 28-year-old running for chancellor in Germany. Like always, if you are new here, smash that subscribe button. If you have enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. It lets the overlords of YouTube know I am doing a good job. And if you feel a little froggy, give me your money at patreon.com idioms. That's Patreon, I-D-I-O-M-Z. Yes, that is idioms with a Z. Because you know what? I can. That's right. I did it. Idioms with a Z. Before we get into the important stuff, I want to speak briefly about Netflix's newest Chris Rock special, Tambourine. I am completely shocked at his anti-white rhetoric, claiming he taught his children everything in that house that was white was bad and dangerous. Because, whitey is dangerous. And as a white man, I know when I was a kid walking through a Latin or black neighborhood, it was always, get that white boy. Unfortunately for me, white privilege was thrown out of the window, and I have been race-shamed for as long as I can remember. And here we have another celebrity once again shaming me for the color of my skin. I feel horrible and embarrassed that my son has to go through this shit show for himself. To all you white people out there, how dare you be peachy or pinkish? You should have asked for a different skin tone at birth. Bruh. These people pushing their anti-white agenda is astonishing. We are at war, folks. No, not a race war. Certainly not yet. Although we are seeing an anti-white agenda being pushed in all walks of life, from the media and college campuses where no white people are allowed. I'm beginning to see a trend here. Why can't we all just get along? We didn't choose this life, we were given this life. But no, the media has declared we are at war with trade. The only other time a trade war had been imposed was during the Great Depression in 1930. Congress passed the Smoot-Hawley Act. During this time frame, unemployment rose 25%. If you thought the Great Recession was bad, we were at a measly 10% unemployment rate in 2008. The differences here are black and white. With the Smoot-Hawley Act, a 40% tax increase was raised on all imports. The tariff that the president is imposing now is for aluminum and steel. And if the EU, that is E.U. decides they want to put up a fight, we will enact their advances with a defensive move by raising the tax on European cars like BMWs and Volkswagens. And before you get your panties in a bunch, let's look at the number of foreign imported cars versus domestic exported cars, shall we? We exported a reported 53.8 billion. Yes, that is a huge freaking number. But when we look at Germany, the wages of battle really make sense. They exported a total of 151.9 billion cars. If you're not good at math, I will do it for you. That is 3 times as many cars as the United States exported. So if we put a tax hike on these because the EU are being dicks, then so be it. Maybe they should stay out of our tariff business, okay? Stay out of my business, EU. But before we jump into any more facts, and before we go beyond those facts, let me explain to you what a tariff is. A tariff is a fancy way of saying tax. Okay, let's look at the steel and aluminum industry as a whole. And I will try and convince you that this may not be such a bad thing. Now, let's begin with how steel is made. I'm not going to go over every specific detail, but I will give you the dumbed down version. You mine coal. You make coal coke. by heating it up really freaking hot. For all you noobs out there, really freaking hot is 1,000 to 1,100 degrees Celsius. Now, for you Americans out there, that's roughly 1,800 to 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit. That's pretty freaking hot. Coking the coal drives out all of the unwanted shit that we don't want in metal. And this process takes anywhere from 12 to 36 hours. Next, you need a mixture of iron ore. And guess what? You need to smelt that shit down to iron. You can get iron ore from any one of these rocks. Magnetite, hematite, geothite, lemontite, sildertite. After you extracted your iron from heating up your rocks, you heat up the coal. You heat up your coal, coke, and iron, and mix it together, and wham bam, thank you ma'am, you've got steel. So, let's talk mines and the productivity rate of coal, shall we? In 2016, the United States produced 738.7 million metric tons of coal. That is a buttload of coal. I think with this tariff, this tax, we should probably begin locating additional coal mines. And I think we should do that locally, right here, at home, in America. Hell, give me a job. I need some cash, yo. Yeah, but without any more mines, we are still producing a buttload of coal. A whole bunch of coal. Anyhow, people seem super skeptical because they're scared China will impose their own tariff, their own taxes, and we'll become a trade war zone. Because of this, we'll get most of our imported steel. Well, we do get most of our imported steel from Canada, and 16% of the other places we buy steel include Brazil, South Korea, Mexico, and Russia. So I ask you faithfully, YouTubeitarians, how will that affect China? In my idiotic opinion, it won't. Speaking of China and steel and Trump and wars, as well as the properties that we need to make steel, do you want to know how much iron we mined in 2015? Well, if you don't, I'm going to tell you anyways. 42.5 million metric tons. So this 25% tariff tax truly wouldn't affect too many countries, at least not drastically. You see, we don't import that much, and it forces these big ass companies like Wally World and Trump Towers to actually, I don't know, perhaps buy American made steel. That's if they don't want to see this huge tax increase and be taxed from here to fucking Israel for it. Well, Dave, what about aluminum? Well, we mined 128,000 metric tons of bauxite back in 2013. Hey, dummy, what does bauxite have to do with beer cans and cars? It's not aluminum. Well, bauxite is the main ingredient in aluminum. So, you see, we are not running dry, and we don't actually need to import more. It will create more jobs mining these rocks, as well as the production phases, implementing perhaps maybe some robotics to cook and smelt and everything else to do with making these rocks into metal. But we can call Bill Gates or Steve Jobs, although Bill Gates is more interested in doing research on infectious diseases in Africa. Red flag, what does a billionaire need? Research with infectious diseases. Well, America will perhaps volunteer Mark Zuckerberg. He'll probably help us produce a robotic armed workforce or something. I don't know. Yeah, that's all right, I guess. So, what else is going on today? Unfortunately, an attack in Burkina Faso left 8 dead and 80 more people injured. Fortunately, the 8 killed were security personnel and not civilians. The attack happened at a French embassy as well as an army base. A van was loaded up with explosives and detonated. If you have no idea where or what Burkina Faso is, well, neither did I until the story broke. Well, they have been having all sorts of issues for a very, very long time. Well, since the government shift in about 1958, with multiple struggles for power. Yeah, including Al-Qaeda attacks and this most recent one. Unfortunately, this news is breaking, and we do not have much more details or the motive for this initial bombing. Although the French were out there to help keep terrorists away and at bay. So potentially this happened for that reason. Or could be because Africans are trying to kick out white farmers, and maybe they thought the French were these white farmers that they're supposed to be kicking out. Who knows? But our sympathies go out to those affected, and we will attempt to keep you guys, you minions, informed about what's going on. In Germany, Kevin Kohnert is running against his political adversary, a woman whom has been chancellor for the last 4 terms. In Germany, Miss Angela Merkel, I thought it was humorous that CNN would report on this. You know, it's just ridiculous. This 28-year-old kid, CNN is saying, hey, Angela Merkel, you better watch out. But this lady, she's served 4 terms. This guy's a kid. He has no experience, little to no political expertise. He is a millennial that actually wants to change the world, which is good. Good for him. And he should. He should change the world. But he has no hope in beating somebody that actually knows policies and has actual real world experience. You know, I think somebody should actually throw this kid a bone and, you know, get him in a clerical position or doing something, answering phones, so he can learn that gig. And then maybe in a few years with a better understanding on how policies and politics work, you know, so he doesn't turn it into Germany back into a totalitarian state. And, you know, then maybe again, after he puts in his dues, run for office. Maybe he'll see success. Brain surgeons in Nairobi operated on the wrong patient. Talk about having a case of the Mondays. Not funny, not very funny at all, but holy shit. Well, both of these guys won't be back to work for a very long time, and we could only hope that they will never, ever operate on another brain. Hopefully they get their shit in order, because that's scary. And Carrie Carmen is a lady who lives in New York. Well, she was arrested for giving a 2-year-old, you remember, right? She was arrested for giving a 2-year-old popcorn after the child readily asked her mother to go get some popcorn for her. Carrie was kind enough to comply with the child's demand for popcorn by dumping the whole bucket on the kid's head. Yesterday, someone slut-shaming a 2-year-old. Today, someone dumping popcorn on a 2-year-old's head. You see, people and policies and politicians and murderous cops and murderers and mass shooters, suicide bombers, they're not what is wrong with the world today. It's those damn toddlers. Because I am a dog trainer and this made headlines, I will speak on it. The Army mishandles bomb-sniffing dog adoptions, the Pentagon says. Basically, the Army didn't give a shit about chopping off their war heroes' balls and gave nice families dogs that had bite training that were actually taught to protect. Shame on you, Army. No, not really. The people should be happy they got these dogs. They should have known they were coming from the Army, and perhaps when adopting these dogs, went to the local Schutzhund Club and now not getting national shame for it. And they should have learned how this dog works and how this dog is trained. It's a $30,000 dog. I mean, holy crap, I would be blessed. Well, thank you for watching Beyond Facts with me, Dave Phillips. And basically, that's it for the news today. Don't forget, if you want to give me your money for explaining things to you that you could have clearly looked up by yourself, go to patreon.com, IDIOMS. That is patreon.com, IDIOMZ. Yes, that's IDIOMS with a Z. If you are new here or old here and haven't subscribed yet, be sure you do. Do it right now. Click that button right now, damn it. Well, anyways, until I do this again, you guys stay safe. Bye. Really? 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 Do the whole fucking thing. Do the whole fucking thing.